everybody, it's Mr. Hague, and I am really excited to be showing you the clone tool. And with the clone tool, we can do so many things. We can duplicate one area of an image into another area of the image. In other words, if we can make one person into two persons into four, we can also take an image from one, say, JPEG or PNG and put it into another one. So in other words, we can take, like, say, the pyramid, take it out of the sand and put them into the ocean. Kind of crazy there, but let's go ahead and dive right in and show you what we can do. First and foremost, I like to refer you to the exercise files, and then episode 15, actually not episode 15. I'd like you to go to the exercise files and refer to folder EP15. And the first image I want to work with is this guy right here, the sunflower. Okay, there it is right there, absolutely gorgeous. So let's go ahead and right click, open with, and let's go ahead and open up Photoshop. Now this image is pretty huge, so let's go ahead and give it a chance for it to fire up. Alright, there it is right there. Okay, so the first thing is, as I said before, this image is pretty huge and it's going to impact how we clone. So first and foremost, let me introduce you to the clone tool. The clone tool in the toolbar is about the 10th one down. There it is right there, and by default it should automatically be selected, but if it's not, just press and hold and you should find the clone stamp tool right there. And as you change, you'll notice the top portion, okay, which is the options bar, look a little different than just about everything else, just like, normally when you click on an icon here in the toolbar. And you'll find out quickly that the clone stamp tool is actually a brush tool. Okay, so you need a brush. And I have my brush set at 127. Okay, let me see if I can kind of show you that a little bit better. There it is, 127. I have it as a soft brush, and I have it angled at 41%. Okay, so that's just my brush. You can use it any way you want. But if you move the cursor over, you'll notice that that is the size of the brush, which is kind of small. I need a bigger brush or a smaller image. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to shrink the image. So the way to do that is go to Image, Image Size. Now, wow, look at that, 8,000 pixels. Okay, that's a big image. So let's go ahead and bring this down to 2. And you'll notice that on the upper left, before I press the OK, it says 16%. So this is a wallop of an image. Alright, so let's go ahead and press OK. And as you can see, it's shrunk down. It's at 16% now. So what we got to do is click on the magnifying tool here. And then on the top, click on the zoom in tool. Okay, that's the magnifying tool with the plus sign in there. And I'm going to go ahead and press plus. Notice how the percentage increases. I'm going to go up a little more, and that's good right there. Okay, so 66.7% we can work with. Now, the next thing is, let's go ahead and click back on the stamp tool. Leave the opacity at 1000, leave everything else the same, except right now with current layer. Now, this is what's going to happen if we don't change layers. I can only work on one layer here. Okay, so watch what happens when I move the cursor over an image. Now, this part you don't have to do. I'd rather you just watch, okay, and do the next part of this exercise. I press on the Alt or Option key, okay, on my keyboard, and watch what happens. You notice the cursor goes from the regular brush into this little crosshair. That means that is the area that I'm going to sample. So I'm going to click there and I'm going to move out. Notice how the cursor carries the information from around the area which I selected. And I'm going to work pretty fast over here. I'm just going to kind of like, just swerve around. If you look on the right hand side, there is that crosshair. Okay, so if I click here, you see the crosshair on the right? Well, that shows me that the area that I am sampling. So my eyes are kind of going back and forth and back and forth. Now here's the problem by cloning in the same layer. Here is the issue. The issue is now I'm stuck with this. In other words, I can't do anything. I can't shrink it. I can't move it. I can't do anything with it really, because it's all in the same layer and the layer is locked. All right. but now you know. So now I'm going to click on the history tool right here, and I'm just going to click up, up, up. Actually, I'm just going to go back up to image size and try again. So this time I'm going to add a new layer. So I'm going to go to layer, new layer. There it is. And let's just keep it at layer 1. Cool enough for me. So now you notice I've got a layer on top of a layer. However, I've got to change the sample from current layer to current and below. That way I'm actually, even though I'm on this layer, it's sampling the background, the one below. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and move the cursor over here. Press on the alter option. I'm going to click. And now I'm going to try and go ahead and sample that. Go ahead and clone that flower. Alright, and so I'm going to do the best I can, as quick and easy. Okay, don't forget the leaves. Okay, don't forget the stem. There it is right there. Now you notice there's a white area over there because that's pretty much the end. Now you got to be careful over here not to get the words here by Karen Dev, I suppose. That is the original owner of the photograph, and I want to make sure she gets credit for that. So let's just keep going. There you have it. All right, now, of course, I should finish up here a little bit more. Okay, so now the beauty of this, because it's its own layer, I can click on the move tool and move this down. See that? I can also go to edit transform or free transform. Okay, and I can shrink this. There it is right there. All right, and now I can click on another layer. Okay, layer, new layer, and I'm going to go ahead and call it layer 2, and this time put the, again, I have the layer over here, and this time I'd have to, if I keep this, if I click on the clone tool, it'll say current layer and below. Well, I don't want the, if I just choose below it, I'd have to sample this one. Instead, I'm going to switch this to all layers. Okay, so this is the one I want. Now I'm going to move the clone stamp tool over here. I'm going to select the middle. I'm going to press Alt. Now watch what happens. Now I'm going to, oops, sorry. I have to select the top layer. And now I'm actually sampling that area. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and do everything I can possibly can. There you have it. There you have it. All right, so now, in fact, actually, you know what? I want to undo something. So I'm going to go to history, and I didn't want to, well, let's just go ahead and start again, I suppose. I'm going to press here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and press, select the background, press on this flower here, press Alt, then go to the new layer, and I'm going to start again. The reason why is because I did not want the stems. So I'm going to go ahead and select as much as I can without selecting the stem, and I'm getting close. There we have it. All right, pretty cool there, beautiful. And I'm just going to move this, okay, over. All right, and there you have it. Okay, so now, or actually try to move it behind, which means I'm going to have to well, let's just keep it the way it is. Okay, so I can actually move this across and move this down a little bit. Okay, and I have to click on the eraser tool now to kind of remove the white. I'd have to obviously increase the size of the brush size. All right, so there we go right there. There, now it looks much better. Okay, so we'll do that, there you go. Looking good. All right, so that's basically, you get the gist. It's not the perfect, but it got the point across, I hope. All right, the next thing we're going to do is this one right here. We're going to copy an image inside an image into another image, okay? So let's see what we mean. Okay, so this time I'm going to go ahead and click on, let's click on this grassy area, and let's click on the blue boat area. So you notice that there's a house there. So we're going to take the house out of the water into the grass. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select both, import them in. There we go. All right, now this time you got to understand that it's going to be kind of hard to see, especially using the tabs here, both images at the same time. So what I recommend doing is clicking on the marquee tool, okay, just to get it out of the mode, and drag, like say, this image and bring it down, and then push it across. I don't need this water, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Okay, there it is using the marquee tool. I'm going to highlight just that area. Actually, I'm going to even highlight less. I'm going to highlight just that area right there. And then I'm going to go to image and I'm going to go to crop. There, leave it there. Now I'm going to drag, now I've got the grass, I'm going to drag this one down. Okay, and I guess I don't need the flower anymore, so let's just leave that around. And now I'm going to be looking for, well, I'm going to look for the blue boat. It's floating somewhere. There it is. And the way I was able to find it is go to window, and you notice on the very bottom there, you'll see that both are there. Okay, so there's the blue boat. That's the house in the water, and the wide open. So if you lose it, okay, for instance, okay, you'll note you can always easily find it again. All right, so now I'm going to copy this house into this image. I'm going to click on again. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer, okay, by clicking on this icon here. New layer, there it is. And this one I don't have to worry about layers because this is the layer I'm going to work in. I'm going to click on the clone tool, and I don't need a size brush that big, so I'm going to reduce the size here. Good enough. And I notice a marching ants are there, so I'm going to undo the marching ants by pressing Control D. And now, again, I'm going to do my very best to copy everything, and I might actually have to reduce the size again a little bit more. All right, so watch this. I'm going to go over the house, press the Alt or Option key, click. Now, look at this. Okay, now I'm going to notice on the clouds, you see that it still has information of that house there. Now, in this case, I may have to well, let's just leave it the way it is. So again, new layer, and now I'm going to kind of eye it, and the only drawback here is that the crossbar that usually sources the area where I'm copying, I kind of have to just eye it. You know, it's not there. The cross is not there on the other image, so I'm just going to have to kind of look at it, and here it is right here. So there it is right there. Okay, so now I moved my home here. I kind of rather have it in the water, okay, but there may have been reasons for it, okay, you know, high tide. So now, because again it's in its own layer, I can do a Command T. I can bring it up a little bit more, and there it is right there. Now, another problem I have is that you notice that in the background I've gotten some water here, so it doesn't make sense unless there's a huge puddle in the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the eraser tool, which is right here. Again, the eraser tool in itself is a brush tool, so I'm going to shrink this a little bit. And I'm going to make sure that the layer is selected, the one with the home. And I'm just going to try my very best to remove the image, the background image from the previous image here. So I'll do the best that I can. Alrighty, there we go. Make sure all grass is over there. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. And it looks like the house is kind of floating in air. So I'm going to click on the move tool and bring it down a little bit. Oops, still, oh, I know why, because there's something underneath it. All right, well, get out the eraser tool again, zoom in a little bit, and just remove all that part. There you have it. And this time I'm going to go to the eraser tool and kind of shift it the other way. See how the angle is the other side? Okay, there we go. And go over here and remove that. There it is. Although it kind of still looks like it's floating in the air, but at least this time it's going to be easy to fix. There we have it. And kind of tweak it a little bit more. Alrighty. Beautiful, brilliant, nice, wonderful, cool. Alright, enjoy the clone tool. See you guys later.